Hey guys, welcome to this very first episode, vlog, podcast, whatever you want to call it, of Behind This Smile. I am Takiya and I am going to be the one pioneering this journey. This is going to be totally raw, totally unscripted, and just totally from my heart and my memory and whatever comes out of this mouth. As I've just said, behind this smile, as you see right now, I'm smiling. I'm actually pretty excited. Today's what I would call an up day, a good day. I was supposed to start shooting this podcast on yesterday, December 1st. Today is December 2nd. I had a little bit of I don't know if you call it a wardrobe malfunction, but if you've noticed, my hair is yellow. It is not blonde. We're working on it. We're getting there. I had a little bit of a issue yesterday, and the interesting thing is I was trying to cover up the yellow, and I was going to wear a hat, and I was going to put a full-on scarf on, and I was going to wear a wig. I wasn't really stressing about it because there's so many different options. But I just decided, you know what? I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to hide this flaw. This is just yet another reason why I decided to do this podcast called Behind This Smile, because I would say 85% of the time I'm smiling, I'm laughing when you see me publicly. When you scroll my social media, there's this big old smile. My best friend, my bestie, my BFF, my girl for life, she has told me for so many years, she says, Takiya, when you smile, it's contagious. It lights up a room and it makes people smile. And I believe that. I look at my photos and I look my happiest and healthiest when I'm smiling. But there's a lot that goes on behind this smile. That statement and the birthing of this podcast actually came about 4 days ago when I was laying in bed and I wasn't smiling. I was actually pulling through a bout of depression. I was at a really, really, really all-time low. It started on Thanksgiving Day, which was what Thanksgiving this year was, I don't know, the 23rd, the 24th. I don't even know, because to be totally honest, I spent it alone, like 100% alone. Behind this smile, you'll find there's a lot that has gone on to get me to the place that I am and to have me to evolve into the woman that I have become and am becoming, and I embrace all of her. But I feel like I went off the beaten path about 4 times there. So let's bring it back. The hair, I decided I wasn't going to hide it. It's a flaw. It can be fixed. It will be fixed. But I just decided I am going to be very real and very raw with every bit of my life. And so while you will see me wear wigs and change colors and things like that, I just decided I'm not going to let another day hold me up from doing something that I know has been in my belly, on my heart, and just right there on the tip of my tongue. But I've had such a struggle with figuring out how to talk about the things that I have endured and gone through over the years. I'm a TV talk show host. I've worked in media. I've worked on the news. I've been interviewed. I've been featured in all kind of magazines all around the world. Majorly for my, I guess my title in the beauty industry. But this is a totally different area of me just being real and being raw. I've even done Inspired with Takiya LaShawn, because I've always heard, Takiya, you're so inspiring. And I believe that I am still inspiring. But this portion, Behind This Smile, is something that is going to be aspiring. What I want to do is share my truth, and in hopes that other women will aspire to be able to not only speak up and speak out and not feel ashamed of the things that they've endured or gone through, but to embrace all of that and to recognize that you're still here, if you still have breath in your body, there's still so much ahead that you can do. And so the hair, it's not perfect. It's not what it's supposed to be at all. It's supposed to be an ash blonde. We'll get there. But again, I said I wasn't going to hide anything. Now, going to my laying in bed Thanksgiving Day, I was triggered. And those of you that deal with depression, like real life, either A, have been diagnosed with it medically, or have some knowledge of the fact that it has been handed down generationally. And that's not to disregard anybody that has moments that feel depressing, that have those emotions of sadness. Something happens and you're sad. There's 10,000% a difference between sadness and depression. And I, about 4 or 5 years ago, saw a therapist for the first time in my entire life. And I knew I needed therapy, but my goal was to make sure that my children who had gone through some trauma got therapy and were taken care of first. And finally, the therapist reached out to me and said, hey, you need to come see me. And in that process, this therapist, my therapist at the time, she told me, Takiya, you have extreme PTSD. And you have severe depression. Not just depression, severe. Not just PTSD, extreme. Like, I'm such an overachiever, even in that area. It makes sense. But I remember that day feeling like, honestly, I was on cloud 9. Not because I was told I had PTSD, not because I was told that I had severe depression, but because titles were given to what I was feeling. It was this aha epiphany moment of, you're not crazy. You're not just tired all the time. You're not just overworked. You're not just the single mother. You're not just dealing with life. You are struggling from a mental illness. You are struggling from something that you have been fighting to mask and cover up and figure out and hide and heal all on your own. And you didn't even know that you had it. And now we have a title to this. So now you know how to work towards dealing with it and living with it. So again, that was a few years ago. So I said that to say, rewind to Thanksgiving 2023. I was triggered and it spiraled me into an extreme state of depression. And everyone's different. I'm here to talk about mine. In the future, I will have, I'm sure, a slew of women, men, guests on that will talk about their experiences. But right now we're going to talk about mine behind this smile, and what it takes for me to get up every day and still be able to smile. So what triggered me and what has really been the foundation of triggering my depression for the last 1.5 to 2 years is the history of my past marriage. I don't know if I want to call it marriage. I mean, I'm divorced, but I'm like, how do I refer to that? So my past marriage, my ex-husband, the things that I have endured in going through a very traumatic and tumultuous marriage, then divorce, end of it. So I said all that to say that is what triggered me. Because remember I said the first 30 seconds, I felt my heart drop into my stomach. And then I got myself together and I was like, it's okay, you're okay. I can't tell you how many times I've had to repeat that and say that to myself throughout the year. And my friends have had to walk me through that. You're safe, you're okay, it's fine. It's a very real thing. So I decided, I'm okay. I'm all right, it's fine. And that was Monday the 21st. And progressively, the 21st, the 22nd, the 23rd. Thanksgiving was on the 23rd. Because Monday, 22, 23, no. It was on the 24th, Thursday. I don't know. Anyway, about 3 days later, it just hit me hard. Because my family, my children and I were actually supposed to spend the holidays together. And because of the damage that has been done on my ex-husband's part to my family, the manipulation involving even my son, we're still healing from that, and it still very much impacts how we interact with one another. And again, I will talk about all of that. I don't want to jump all over the place too much. We didn't spend the holiday together, and it hurt. All of this came to a headway and clashed on Thanksgiving. And now this comes full circle to tell you about my hair. I had locks. I had grown my hair out for the last 3 years to beyond my shoulders. They were down my back, and they were blonde, beautiful blonde color. Worked with one amazing master stylist on them and one amazing lockologist, loctician the past 3 years of this journey. And I loved my locks. They were a representation of me. They represented just being in a natural state, just being naturally beautiful. I loved them. Thanksgiving morning, I don't even know which particular thing it was other than a train wreck of all of the emotions hit. And I began to spiral into having a nervous breakdown. I mean, hands shaking, tears streaming, chest heaving, panic attack having, breakdown. I do not know how to explain it. Some of you, many of you will absolutely get it without me having to explain it. But I took scissors to my hair. I had already determined that in the new year, I wanted to end my lock journey and possibly comb my locks out or either cut them off and just start fresh. But Thanksgiving morning, I began to have a breakdown, and I grabbed the shears and started cutting my locks. Not gently, not intentionally. I mean, jabbing. Cut, 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 snip, 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 jab, jab, jab. It was, looking back on it now, I've had time to process. And I realized what it was. Number one, the way that I did it, I joke with my best friend and another friend I talked to, and I call it a crime of passion because I love documentaries. With CSI, like this, that's the nonfiction type of stuff or the TV stuff, but I like real live documentaries. I love the forensics of things. I love seeing how people get caught. I love seeing how the crime played out, not the crime itself, but I like the forensics of it. So I watch a ton of documentaries. And I remember telling my friend, I said, I feel like I committed a crime of passion on my hair. What I mean by that is when you watch these documentaries, these real life scenarios where a lover ends up murdering or killing the other or unaliving them, I don't know what I can say on the internet or the blog, a crime of passion is usually very violent. It's not just pow or jab. It's pow, 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 or jab, 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 jab. It's angry and brutal, and it's coming from a place of hurt or betrayal or something. So I now tell my friends I committed a crime of passion against my hair because I realized the reason I took to my hair, women will understand this. Black women will extremely understand this. Our hair is our crown. Our hair is a symbol of our beauty, our culture, our spirituality. And for me, I started this lock journey of growing out my natural hair into these long, beautiful locks And I started that journey right after I got married. And the last 3 years, the meeting, the marriage, the divorce, the stalking entailed 3 years. And I was getting rid of, cutting off every bit of hurt and anger and betrayal and letdown and everything I had carried. And it was just so brutal the way I did it to my hair. And I remember I was weeping and sobbing, like hysterically. I literally, again, was having a breakdown. And I remember in my mind telling myself, like, why are you crying like this over your hair? You never care about hair. And I don't. I'm the type of person, I have been a baldy. I will shave it to the core and I'll bleach it blonde and move on about my business. I will grow hair down my back today and I will cut it all off tomorrow like it's nothing. But with my locks, I sobbed and I cried with every cut. It was like it almost physically took something out of me. And at the time, I was like, I'm thinking, you could not be possibly crying like this over your locks, Takiya. And I mentally was trying to grasp that it's not about your locks, but maybe it is. And I went in. And when I finished, I had all these locks laid out on my bathroom counter. I took a picture of it. And then I eventually just posted the picture of my locks. And I talked about once I kind of got it. No, I didn't even get it together. I think I posted it out on Thursday on Thanksgiving. And I'll be honest, if you go back and read some of my Facebook posts, they're a cry for help. They really are.